Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric the Arty Guy, also known as Eric Epic. So, today we'll be looking at how to draw chest muscles, the pectoral muscles. Here we have a very rough anatomical structure of your rib cage, your chest bone, clavicle, and upper arm bone, humerus. Over here we have, as we go later into the video, some figure drawing to show you how then you can use it in practice. However you do your figure drawing, you should usually use these basic shapes. But we'll start with the anatomical aspect of it. I only drew one half of it, so we're going to concentrate on one side of the muscle. So we're just, the right side, this would be now. So where does the muscle start and where does the muscle end? Usually it's going to start it's got a very long start. It attaches all across here essentially, and it ends then somewhere in your armpit, roughly there. So that's where, so it starts from here and here and ends there. So basically it pulls this part of your muscle over here like that. That's pretty simple. So essentially we can just, if we were just to draw the striations straight in, that's how it looked like. It is a bit, there is one thing you should keep in mind, is that the muscle actually twists. So this upper part here will come down, and then the lower part will go behind it. So it actually makes a twist to the front, so that when the arm is up, then it will kind of lay straight. But that's just a little bit deeper information. What that will do is that, for example, when you see a bodybuilder flex their chest, so say this is their flex chest, they will sometimes, up here, when they flex their chest, their chest goes up here and then into the shoulder like that. Like here is the shoulder muscle. But sometimes this line here appears. And that is just this, depending on your genetics, it's different for every person. You can't really train that line, it just appears. That comes from this fold, and then that will be pretty much chest muscle. Very, very simple way to train chest muscle. Yeah, so it's gonna come up here and just attach here. So we're just gonna draw a bunch of that, and then sometimes it attaches onto the rib cage, usually it doesn't. And we're just gonna go ahead and erase all of the rib cage and clavicle bone, your collarbone. Actually, I don't know if I said that right. Below all of that. Oh, it's running away from me. And we're just gonna, there you go. So that's the gist. It's very simple, actually. It's gonna go along the collarbone, and then from the chest you're gonna get the the deltoids, the shoulder muscles. If you watched my last videos, you know that. Basically, the first shoulder muscle will come here, the second one will come here, so it's really going from one muscle to another, and it's very smooth. So now, going into drawing the chest muscle on figures. This is my basic figure drawing. Basically, how I do it is I'll draw a triangle, and from here to here basically informs my collarbone, and then up here it basically just informs where I'm going to put the head. But we're going to concentrate on chest muscle for now. So if this is my collarbone, I can put it in a rough shape of a chest, make it a bit bigger, make it very like Arnold-esque. I'm a big bodybuilding fan, if you couldn't tell. That's roughly how it's gonna look like. I do sometimes I roughen everything before I roughen everything before I make it clean. And then usually we have down here, and we don't actually go further than that, and maybe we can just put in the neck right there for that, and also the traps. So now we'll just clean up that. So from that structure you can see just very simple shapes. I'm gonna draw over here because it does kind of obscure, it does lay kind of over it because it goes behind this, lays in front of the bone. And then same over here. We're just gonna add some striations coming from the armpit directly out, us like that. And I don't know if you ever saw, if you know who Rob Liefeld is, very influential artist. What he usually does, he kind of blends in the pec muscle to the this first shoulder muscle here. So he basically almost makes it one muscle, because it basically goes, if you treat this line here like a striation and you just kind of keep going with that and maybe also bring it back a bit. That's not very accurate, but it's definitely accurate, and it's a very cool style, which I tried to do myself, but not to the same extent Rob Liefeld seems to be able to do it. I think he takes some liberties on anatomy. That's why it kind of looks as good as when he does it. So, yeah, this is not the best striations. I kind of muddled it up, basically, as of this one here, because they all do want to come back to this point over here. That's kind of the point. You do want to inform the shape, because the pec muscle should be a very round muscle, especially during superior. So you watch like the best bodybuilders. I throw one out right now, Andrew Jacked. He's got extremely round muscles, or Michael Krizo, extremely large and round chest muscles, and definitely look at that to get like a good sort of representation of how like a superhero chest muscle should look like, especially like Michael Krizo, he got a massive chest. Or if you look into like classic bodybuilders, someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's definitely kind of like the model of how a good chest should look like. So yeah, now we're gonna look at when your arms are up. So basically, since when you raise your arms, your collarbone basically also goes up into here is where the end of the collarbone would be. So that would be, so when you're drawing normal thing, this is where the end, you're drawing a normal torso, and this is where the end of the collarbones are. That's now up here when you raise your arms. And so basically, we're just going to draw the top of the chest muscle along that collarbone, bring it down again like we did up here. That's this down bit over here. And just make that shape again. Originating, basically, because this part is pulling away, so it's going to, like if you had like a cloth, it would originate from that point. And then you can, like, if you were to put a head in here, and then what you can do from here, because we know, for example, the front delt kind of also comes from here, from roughly the same point here, and your bicep kind of sticks out here, and then your tricep over here. This is very rough and not the best, I have to admit, but you do get an idea for what happens to the chest. So basically, from being down here, once it goes up, that really just moves up there, and same, literally just goes like that up there, and then you just need to change the shape, make it a bit more squishy than you think, because I always imagine muscles to be very, very rigid. Muscles are much more squishy than you imagine. I mean, they look hard, and they're meant to look hard when they're supposed to look hard, but they're very squishy. So that, think of muscles being much squishier than you would imagine. And I do believe that is it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'm Eric Epic, also known as Eric the Arty Guy. Have a nice day.